Hi friends, so a little bit of admin before we dive into the reaction. Probably by the time this reaction comes out, the schedule for on YouTube, the schedule for Patreon and for YouTube will be out. My sister recommended that to make sure I stay on track and to not get overwhelmed by recording a bunch of things at the same time or at once, to make a schedule for the month, pretty much, and to keep me accountable and to keep things on track. And so, Sunday night, the 26th, that schedule will have been posted via a post on the community page. You can click it, see what's to come for Patreon and YouTube, see what's going to be Patreon early access, and then later will come on YouTube. And it'll say Patreon EA, that means early access, and then what will say Patreon only. Give you an idea of like what's to come and just little things like that. Anything else to add? No, in terms of admin, that's kind of it. In terms of the show, though, it is about, we're only a couple episodes in, but we've already explored quite a bit, at least in terms of the girls' imagination. But now here comes the real work of actually making the animation, figuring out what they want for the storyline, figuring out what they want to do. So we'll kind of see exactly what kind of thought process these girls have. I'm the kind of person that figures out the concept, I guess, in terms of the process. Like as I'm working on something, or maybe working on a new style, or maybe I know the idea of what I don't know. My mom and I were talking, and like left-handed versus right-handed, and she's very good with broad, vague concepts. She can kind of just take concepts and do what she wants. Whereas me, it's more of the process. So what am I trying to do? What am I trying to teach? What am I trying to learn? Am I learning a specific medium? And then from there, kind of playing with the concepts. Now, for my class, I did have to take a concept and create something, but that concept really kind of flourished as I was working with the tools. So we'll kind of get to see, I'm assuming, the girls, how they approach projects, who can do really well with very vague, kind of broad strokes, who needs something very specific and very detailed. And then we're going to see how, I want to say Kinemori, but I don't know if that's it. Kanemori, I can't remember. The really tall girl, she's our producer. She's the one who's going to help with like money and keep the artists focused. And so right now we've seen these past two episodes that when our two shorter girls get talking, they can be there for hours lost in the imagination. So I think it's Kanemori. I can't remember. But so it's up to our tall girl to kind of rein them in and keep them focused so that one, they get their projects done, and two, they don't waste time just talking. But things are actually done. So I'm curious to see how they'll balance each other out, what their struggles will be in terms of like anime versus movie making, and so on and so forth. Anything else than that? No, there's no sound on YouTube, only partial image. Sometimes keeps the copyright monsters at bay. Without further ado, let's dive in. Very industrious young ladies. Can anyone tell me what Eizouken? Oh, Eizouken. Eizouken stands for? Kanamori. Hmm. Just his film. Hmm. So it's good that she's around because she's kind of keeping them focused. And all right, we need things to accomplish, and you're not accomplishing anything doing what you're doing. We see that she doesn't mind going along for the ride at times. And she's just as probably weird as they are in a different way. But she I like this intro a lot actually, seeing the dancing is fun. Oh, it kinda hurts my eyes a little bit though. Maybe people just looking at a lot of screens lately. Such goofballs. But anyway, so it's good that she's around. It's good for her to like have them focus. She needs to rein them in more often than not. And I mentioned that she's probably gonna be like that. Hmm. This is such a bob of a song. It's really goofy, fun, weird song. This really fit. I mean, this is perfect. Whose fault is that? She is not paying attention. They're absolutely useless. Kanamori did. I thought the school was gonna help pay for the repair. I actually kind of like Kanamori now. But someone again, I don't know if I said that in my previous reaction, could explain the difference between Chan and San and Kun and stuff. Asakusa. She's a problem with everything. Asakusa. Mm. That's a good point, actually. It's quiet, though. Which means she's lost in her imagination. That's why she made a face. She's like, wait, it's really quiet out there. What's going on? When she gets lost in her brain, time floats away from her, nothing gets done, and it turns into a big myth. Again, I like how we're using... She knew what was going on. Difficult, difficult, difficult. Oh, that's cool. It kind of connects to... Does that connect to the other building? They don't even have safety harnesses. Oh! Did we see that moving? We saw that moving, right? Oh, that's not good. They have no safety hats on, no safety harnesses. It looks like the building's connected to the one next to it. But it was like closed off and repairs were only done to one half. They have great imagination, but they need to focus. I wonder if all this talk that we're getting, because it's a little bit draining actually for me, will play into later on in the series when they actually get to finally making their anime. That makes sense removing the rusted parts so that more and more of it's eaten away. Again, I kind of like the aspect that they're using people to make the sound effects. That and stuff like that. Are they done? That was cool. This whole animation, the approach and all that, that's cool. Oh no. Oh no, it's hailing. They're stuck on the roof. They still haven't finished their repairs. Really bad repairs from what we see. It's a clear one. It must be using like a polyester to do that. So he doesn't realize it's hailing it. What'd she do? Block the entrance like an idiot? This is a reminder that she is also an idiot at times. These girls are a mess. Again, this does show that Katamori will play along with them in terms of their imagination. I have been chatting a lot. I've just been kind of enjoying it. Dang. Ooh, she really likes that. Again, it must have been made from like a clear polyester. I thought schools were supposed to help with the repairs. They didn't really do that, did they? You haven't been doing any advisory stuff. Maybe the school helped buy the materials for the repairs. But you would think the school themselves would repair that. But they didn't. That was cool. That was cool. She really likes her milk. That's a lot of money. Look how she. Isn't it rude to talk with your chopsticks? I can't remember. It's not even 2 months. Did she eat all that in one go? Except for a little hiccup there in the beginning. Oh my gosh, there's her face in the background. I forgot she's a child model. Cute faces, man. That's her face is all over the place. Muzusaki. Oh, she's cute, little band-aid on her nose. They're kind of impressed by her, huh? Which means they should probably have her do the presentation, because she'll do a good job. Home. Has Kanamori ever been to her home? I was curious about it. Oh, now we're diving in again. There's so much to say. I gotta probably take in more so of the animation and make my observations about this thing. That's kind of cute. Now they're wearing safety helmets. That's a good job on the whole perspective, if anything. A little too boring. A lot of buildings, structures, settings. You can just make the animation say it in one location, one setting. Again, it sounds like the girls themselves are making the voices. Exactly. Oh, does it? That's not a really good tank if it does that. They would need something simple. Maybe people, maybe not. People are hard to animate. Yeah. She's right. You can do the kind of thing. So she's very fascinated with body mechanics. Hmm. Oh, now she's dealing with these very hyper-focused people. What is this? Oh, is this from, Yeah, because they're animating a fight season. Yeah, because it's not really important, but it's a fight scene they're animating. Sometimes, yes. Oh, to some degree. Girl's intense. She's probably more intense than music. Asakusa. That's pretty cool. That's pretty basic, pretty flashy. The tank can only move a couple times. Nice. So that was really good there with what Kanamori did. She as producer was like, okay, I need to work within this time frame and this budget and all this stuff, but I also can't destroy the artists. It's not a good idea. Because you need the artists for the work you're doing. Looks a lot like her. That's really cool. Actually, that's really smart. I like that. It would look really different. It would stick out. It'd be weird. She's really good. Good point. Oh, she's flying a tank. Oh, that works. That's cool. Also, that means you wouldn't have to animate too much of her face because it would be, you know, stuck like that. Oh, really good point. Yeah. Which we're actually, I want to talk about. We're actually seeing that here. It has to do with the transparency too. Oh, that's cool. So you don't have to buy pre-punched ones. Yeah. This is really cool. Oh, we're going to detail here now. Also, if you're gonna, you're gonna focus on special effects, but maybe no voices, just the effects. And I'm guessing we're getting these sound effects in the imagination with their voices because that's what we're gonna see in the final product. Just be careful. I like how we're actually seeing an animated storyboard. Like, this is legitimately what we're seeing, an animated storyboard. Where'd the arrow come from? I like how they paused it. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Okay. I love that a lot. I like how we're, again, I'm trying to look at the display with the camera. I like how they talked about kind of when to choose detail and when not. When you look at the background characters, the girls, for the most part, are very detailed, especially when they're moving. But the background characters, the supporting characters, are pretty plain. Vague lines. You kind of get the vague silhouette of the characters, the coloring, all of that. And you see these two girls in the background, they're pretty vague. When you get up close, that's when you see, like, what's on her hat. You see that there's, a band-aid across her nose. You see the more details when they get closer. And I like how the moments where, when they're in their imagination, everything is like a rough watercolor in terms of like the coloring filling in. Because when you're doing your storyboards and your drafts, you don't want too much detail in there. You're just kind of roughly getting the story down. It's not really done yet. This is just your imagination. It takes too much, it takes too much time to put too much detail in it. That'll come later. But I like how once the idea of the story is solidified, the girl becomes solid. You see her like coloring, she's more opaque. She looks a lot like the other girls, actually, like the real girls, in terms of like how opaque they are, the strength, the coloring. I like how we're seeing pencil scribbles and we're seeing other kinds of scribbles as well that kind of indicate, oh, this is a storyboard that you're seeing. It's really, really cool. Let's before I talk too much, let's get to the review. That was absolutely adorable. I really, really liked it. It was fun. It was funny. It was super cute. I just had a great time with it. I really need to start paying attention more so to the animation and its style and what the artists are actually doing. Because again, this whole project is about anime and animation and movement and all of that. And so we're getting to see that up close. So I'm so focused on the girls and all the info dumping that we're getting that I'm not really paying attention to the animation. But I like how we spent the first little part of the episode focusing on the girls and their personalities and the difficulties they have. It looks like they bought the tools, but the school maybe supplied them with the materials to repair it. It kind of sucks that the school doesn't... It's so weird, like, there are aspects of the school that seem so advanced, but there are also aspects of the school that seem so low income. So it's kind of hard to figure out the balance. So this is like an alternate... Like, is this based off a real place, or is this just completely made up? I would like to know. And the artists were like, what if there was like a town and a school that was previously like an industrial town, a mining town maybe. And now it's like it has a school and all. I mean, even the teacher's office, like last episode, the teacher's, their office room was a pool. Not even a real, like, a room. It was clearly you could see the lines and like it was a pool. So I don't know if we'll ever get details into what exactly this place was before it was a school. Because again, it's so dingy and kind of sad, but it also seems so technology advanced. So I really do think that it was a company, that it was an industrial site, that was, oh, I forget the term for it. Basically, though, it was like altered so that way families and all of them could live there and the school would be created. I got a text. Anything else to add? No, I really like Kanamori. We see how no nonsense she is. She's a little bit kind of like the girls as well, where it's like, this goofball. But she is a little bit more frustrated, while they're really like, woo kind of people. She's like, mm. But again, we saw it in the first episode and the second one, is that Kanamori, despite her very different personality, she does kind of go along with them when it comes to creativity and animation and their imagination, because she's always in there with them. She's always kind of seeing what they're seeing. So it's not like she can't picture what they are, but they're like leading the charge, but she needs to be a lot more realistic. So as she said in this episode, she's kind of learning what it means to be a producer, where you give limitations and work with what, this is the budget, this is the time, this is what we can't really do something too crazy. But at the same time, not squash and squelch the creativity and the ideas of the artist. Because the artist, you need the artist for your project. So you can't say no to everything that they say. Otherwise, it kind of makes them kind of sad. And also, these girls are not being paid for this as well. But they do have their motivation, their goal. Club review, presentation, they can get a budget, they can do all this cool stuff. And then they show, here's what we can do with this little budget, or non-existent budget, with just technically 2 people. Okay, imagine what cool stuff we could do with a bigger budget, maybe a bigger club. So, that would be really cool. Is there anything else I wanted to add? No. Again, we got the personalities, we got their dynamics. We see what roles they're going to kind of play. And then from there, we get to see their goals, and now they have a project. So now they have a plan and a goal. So it's only the beginning. I'm a little tired right now, or I'm just losing my mind. I don't know. Maybe it's the lights. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your enemies, and I'll see you next time.